welcome back to another Der999 Talks About. I am Der999, and let's continue. Oh, okay, so this one's gonna be actually positive. I know there's a few rare in this playlist, but this one's actually gonna be very positive, and I actually threw out some other ones which I need to redo or just not care about because they were too negative, even though they were trying not to be negative. But yeah, this series, we're gonna talk about the feature of the series in a little bit. But excuse me, I'm actually eating right now. I'm not going to actually eat on camera, of course, but I'm actually can't eat right now, so I can't. Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, just one of those days I'm having, mostly because of the heat. Because when my conditioner side, which does a lot in the summer, probably because they ran out of Freon. I have no idea, but it just no longer shoots out cold. It's just not a fan, a really, really high energy intensive fan. But anyway, so yeah, I actually just watched spoilers for RWBY Volume 8, the RWBY Volume 9 trailer, and Ice in the first 2 episodes of Ice Queendom. But I finally watched episode 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, as well as the Volume 9 trailer, and it was really good. Really rushed. And again, spoilers for everything, last warning. It was really rushed in the whole, I told him to worry about, I told him to worry about, basically, the creation guy, the creation rod guy. However, how Royce said it, is she knew what she was saying. Maybe Royce intended it to be a one-way portal. It comes off that way. And Lucy agrees. It really does come off that way. So maybe Weiss did, maybe Weiss didn't. Who knows? I don't know what the intention was, but it actually doesn't matter, because it really doesn't matter what the intention was Weiss doing the thing or not. But yeah, yeah, and it was just really, really good. Everything I basically, well, I was hoping Penny would live somehow, but that didn't happen. But I presumed she had to die, or at least had to, lose her maiden power to go to Winter, because she couldn't be in the main characters, because I have too much power too early. We still have a good 10 volumes to go before the original end date, before the end of the the original plan that Mondium had before he died, right before he died, right around the time of the in the production of Volume 3, because it made it into the stuff on the disc, the bonus videos on the disc. But anyway, Volume 8 was really good, and I saw the first 2 episodes of Ice Queendom because I couldn't watch the third one. As you can see, I tried. But the third one has the issue of, well, doesn't have captions. And yeah, I found this to be very odd. I mean, it's not unexpected, I don't think, but I found it very odd that this series does not have an English version yet. All of the original show does have a Japanese version. That's where these voice actors come from, is from the Japanese version of the original show. And they've had a Japanese version of the original show since Volume 3, and I'm pretty sure they come out either on time now or delayed by a few months. So, I don't know what's up with this. Also, there's no subtitles for for episode 3 right now, which is perplexing. I don't know why. I really don't know why. There's titles for premium Crunchyroll subtitles for Premium Crunchyroll, but there's not subtitles for Rooster First. Which, by the way, this series is strictly Rooster First, which is a bunch of figure actually. Just like Jinlock is. But I understand it, I think. You can always watch this on DVD because Jinlock was released on DVD. I presume this will be as well. Actually, yes, no, it's released on DVD. You know why I know that? Because they're coming out with a special edition. Yeah, there's a special limited edition. I'm going to try to get it. I don't think I'll be able to play it or anything, but I'll at least have it. And have the extra stuff. I can get it on the A-On store, which is Japanese only, or Premium Bandai, which does have an American version of Premium Bandai. It's coming out, as you can see, January 27th, 2023 on a Friday. So yeah. Also, there's the original soundtrack. You can get a record version, or you can get released on CD, I think. And I didn't know that the soundtrack was really quiet compared to the normal show, which there's a lot of even in the first two episodes. There's a lot of talk about. I was wrong a few ways, but I was right. I'm probably right with the big ones anyway. I am wrong in another. I am wrong with the big ones in a way as well. First off, the soundtrack's really quiet. I don't know why, but the soundtrack's really quiet and really short. Like most of the videos, most of the episodes seems quiet. Like there's no soundtrack to it at all. Yet there's tons of effects, albeit it is made in it's made in CG. Wait, CG the original show or CG this show, or is both CG? I think the original show was CG because it was. This is digital art, so of course it was CG as well. But anyway, yeah, they don't do translation very well at RWBY Project, which is odd because I know Bandai can do translation well if they actually care, or even if they don't care, they can do it well. Because I never had an issue with the English subtitles games being translated poorly. But oh man, the English subtitles in Ice Queendom suck. They really suck. Again, I wish they used the American voice actors. Pretty much the American voice actors. So you got English voice actors, and it allows you to pick between the English version and the Japanese version with either subtitles. But yeah, the subtitles suck. There are actually a few places which I noted that the subtitles are different than the dialogue, because I can actually understand some parts of Japanese. Not a lot of it, though. I can understand it because I've just been around it so much. I can't understand it I can't actually, learn it like German or France or Franc or anything like that. Or Latin, for that matter. Or Russian on certain days. Yeah, it's just how I am. I can pretty much just flat out read Latin. No, don't ask me to speak it though. But anyway, the subtitles are up. There were 3 points where that. Well, of course, if you knew the previous discussion, Ice Queendom has parts that are completely the same as the original show, but they're very few, and most of it's been reshot, as you would expect, because the strengths of 3D CGI and 2D CGI are completely different. 2D CGI excels at making really pretty stills, which this show does use very well, except for the eyes suck. I don't know, have these people seen human eyes? Because they don't know how to draw them. And that's not a Bandai thing either. Bandai knows how to draw human eyes, but look at that. Why? Why is it so over detailed yet and the show is graphical settings. Like, some shots are really simple, some shots are insanely complex. Like, the hero shots are always really insanely complex, but some shots are really simple. But the one I want to use is, you know that scene where Yang is calling out for RWBY? She said, in Japanese, she says Oni-chan. I think I said that right. Oni-chan, I think I said the right one. But she says Oni-chan, 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 Oni-chan. The subtitles say what it said in English. What it said in the original show, RWBY, RWBY, RWBY. Oni-chan means sister. I've only encountered this one place before, and it only made sense in that context, which was Digimon Cyber Sleuth, which is also made by Bandai. In which main character's sister will call the main character Oni-chan, or the male or the brother version, I forgot which. We'll call the main character. Well, you can change gender in that game, so it doesn't matter. So it fast back and forth when my sister was playing a girl, so she said Oni-chan, and it would say your character name in the subtitles. That makes sense because it's a video game, and they couldn't write out your exact, and they couldn't make the voice that AI voice said would make the correct word out of the letters you put down, or at least try to. There's also other ways, such as Forza Horizon, which just allows you to pick a title and use that. But that was one, and then there's two more which I don't really want to talk about because I don't want to spoil it more, but that brings us to the next part, is there are, what they show seems to be, well, the first two episodes are showing you extra detail, while also, well, it's kind of complex. The show's a bit complex, and I don't know who I don't know exactly who it's for, because you need to watch both. You need to watch the original show and this to make sense at all. Because without the context of the original show, what they're showing you in this doesn't make any sense. For example, in episode 2, they skipped entirely. Actually, let's bring up this one real quick. And then let's do a little they skipped 2 episodes, and did it in a way that doesn't make much sense. That did it in a way that you couldn't follow it, that you couldn't make sense of the plot if you actually knew what you were doing. If you actually knew, if you were actually watching this for the first time. And that was episode... Okay. Episode 1... Actually, let me just describe what's in each episode. Episode 1 is all the trailers. All the trailers in Chapter 1. With some added stuff, like it shows the complete... Like it shows the context. It finally shows the context of Weiss's trailer. It finally shows the context of Weiss's trailer. The leading up to it, the very leading up to it, and what happened, and show them and HDFI the background, HDFI the arena, because of course Montiam's method fight scenes don't have much detail in the surrounding arena unless it needs to be there to get smashed or get jumped off on or anything like that. And of course that was when they had a lot less budget, so they had less assets, and all that stuff just can be glossed over with their new budget, as well as using Bandai and them to make the new scenes. So they did not redo RWBY's trailer. They actually started at Chapter 1, the beginning of Chapter 1, where RWBY's talking to her mom. And then they skip to Ice's trailer, because she's apparently the main character in the show, or she's the POV character in the show, in Ice Queendom's show. And then they did Blake's trailer, which just showed the context behind that. They did not show Yang's at all. They showed the context behind Yang and the first fight you see in RWBY in the actual show, outside of the trailers. And that was actually a really nice way of doing it. The issue comes in volume 2, which I had to go, or in episode 2, which I had to go back and watch, which I had to go back and look at this page. Yeah, episode 2 covers episode 2 of volume 1, episode 3, episode 4, and episode 5. Also episode 6, also episode 7, also episode 8. I don't know what 3 is going to cover, but I think it's going to diverge from there. I haven't watched it. I think 3 and 4 is going to diverge from this. But yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 episodes. I mean, they're all short because it's old RWBY. Covered in 30 minutes. And they completely skipped out on 3. They mostly skipped out on 3. Yeah, they mostly skipped out on 3. I swear they mostly skipped out on 3. I'll have to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure they skipped out on 3. And I'm okay with that, except they're on an airship. They're on the airship from episode 2 of volume 1. And then they're on the airship, and then they used the airship to provide the context of how they got to, and then they're in the armory, which you have no context of in the show where that is. You presume it's on the airship, which I keep calling bus, and Lucy kept getting on me for that. But it was, so you're on the airship meeting the characters and doing the first fake out meeting of Team RWBY and Juniper. And basically just introducing their characters for the very first time, introducing the Team RWBY and Juniper for the very first time on screen. You go from that, Blake reading and all that, Weiss and her mocking RWBY for saying shopping. And then you go to the armory in First Step 1, I think. In First Step Part 1. Yeah, I think you go to First Step Part 1 with Rin and Nora in the armory. And then you have the bits with Weiss, Pura, and John. And then you go, the airship parks and our airship docks onto the Emerald Force outcropping, which is new, and then you start part 2 from the in between of that. That was my best effort explaining all that. The show doesn't do the courtesy of ever showing Beacon between that. I don't like that. That doesn't work well for me. So it doesn't work well for me from the context of, I presume, context of you're watching the show for the first time. But then again, why would you really? Because it's a premium show. Why would you watch this for the first time and not watch the free show for the first time before this? Because it is available in Japanese with Japanese voice actors. You could call it a Japanese dub if you want. I just call it the Japanese version. Because it's not really a dub, because it's, like, Rooster T is contracted, or got these voice actors together to work to make a Japanese voice acted version that's still natively with that. It's not a transition team. It's some far off land doing it for their audience. No, it's not that. It's not that which I typically associate with dub. Dub being an unofficial version, unofficial or third party rendition of the show. But anyway, I do like it. I hate the eyes. I knew I would hate the eyes. Also, RWBY's Crescent Rose is now a semi-automatic signature weapon. Because, why wouldn't it be? Again, like, they don't bother to animate. They bother animating her hand on the bolt, but they don't show her ever, using it, other than a handle. So that'll get confusing. I'm really enjoying it so far, and Lucy's probably enjoying it more. Also, I did see the Volume 9 trailer. Can't wait. I did see the little bit at the end of the credits of Volume 8. Can't wait. Yeah, that might be it, actually. But anyway, hey, we had a positive there talks about. I better end it before I start getting negative or toxic or whatever. Oh, yeah, one last thing I noticed. RWBY does not have her cape anymore. I mean, yeah, she has a big poofy jacket, which could act as a security blanket, but I have a feeling that RWBY doesn't need her security blanket in the alternate timeline or the nightmare. Which it is a nightmare. White's having nightmares of the future, another universe that doesn't exist with the main show, and also the anime is in a separate universe, has to be, because basically someone who has a dream catcher. Who has a dream catching ability to help people, and helps fight against Nightmare Grim, which they're awfully specialized. I mean, why wouldn't you be? Which is interesting. That is an interesting way to show that is an interesting way of doing this. They could have done it alternate timeline. I mean, they are doing an alternate timeline because this is going to happen. Weiss got her nightmare from the Nightmare Grim invading during the initiation. So yeah. Also notice that Weiss does not have her scar. Also notice that Weiss is in Daddy Girl mode, Daddy's Girl mode. Let's go to someone else I talked about already. Notice about Yang. Yang still has her right arm. This one right here. It's not Robo arm. Among other things. Nora shouldn't have her scars, I would think. And Nora doesn't have her scars, but then again, she might not have had them anyway. That came from the middle of Volume 8, so it doesn't count. Pure still is alive. So that's one thing. Ren, anything different about him that's of note? No. Not at all. John. He has the same haircut. He doesn't have the terrible one. He doesn't have the bananas. So that's a pause. Only Team RWBY is really messed with. It could be that the reason why Team Juniper is not messed up at all is because they still are Team Juniper. They're not Team Junior, I guess is what we've been calling them. But this one I haven't talked about yet. I have a feeling that alternate Blake in this alternate timeline, in this alternate nightmare timeline thing, whatever it is, we'll figure that out later. I presume that the first season of Ice Queendom is going to tell us what the nightmare is about. If there is going to be more seasons of Ice Queendom, I do like the idea. Maybe there'll be two more. Maybe there'll be more 2D anime, premium RWBY shows that are 2D anime that are going to be in alternate timelines. Maybe that'll be a thing. But you know what this tells me about Blake in the alternate timeline? She has embraced her fondness, which she never really had before. Also, she has she died inside of her. She dyed the inside of the hair on her back. Well, that's not obviously this. She dyed the, as you can see, she dyed the inside of her hair. What is this part of, what is this part of hair? What do you call this? Like, what do you call this bit right here? What is that? I have long hair too, and I don't know what that's called. She dyed the inside of her long hair. I guess that's what you say. She dyed the inside of her long hair. The one that goes over her back. There you go. That's what you say. That's what I say it. But she basically embraced her fondness to an extreme that it's just no. I don't like this. I mean, to be fair, it's a lot like my sister's fanfic character, for self-insert fanfic character, who also embraced her fondness, but then she wasn't really a fondness to begin with. She became a fondness because of reasons. Reasons that are plot, which I still need to get back to my fanfic, which I'll probably get back to my fanfic now because I'm really feeling RWBY right now. I'm so much sure I can't watch anything else. Let me show you my dilemma. All of this! And I don't want to watch any of it. I actually just want to rewatch Ice Queendom. That's how good it is. But anything different from Osmond? There's no Oscar Osmond. Which was telling. Oh, you're new. They put sun in there. Penny. In the eyes. I can't wait to see where they take the show. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate watching. This video means a lot to me. Lots of me. Check out the rest of the stuff in the description below, such as various sports channel, which of course best sports channel for watching games, videos, engaging content produced, more sharing friends for Lista. Alright, that bit's for you. Thanks for watching. And I guess I'm not gonna eat because I'm not actually hungry. Thanks for that, but anyway, that bit for this video. Thanks for watching. And I guess, see you in a second.